So, this story's called Please. Avoid open spaces, avoid water or any large collections of liquid. Fountains are deep enough. Do not bathe. Anything deeper than an inch is potentially a conduit. Keep showers to a minimum. Do not look up at the stars or into the darkness. Do not allow television sets to remain on channels that contain static. We are working very hard to contain them, but we need your cooperation and compliance to make it work. Please stop involving local law enforcement and emergency services. They cannot help you. They are self-aware and they are aware of us. They understand communication, both verbal and non-verbal. We thought for a while that they were opportunistic, but they're smarter than that. They have predatory instincts and must be treated as hostile. Do not attempt to touch them or interact. They do not feel or do not understand affection. You cannot tame them. They are capable of planning. As of now, they cannot be contained. We've been running experiments to try and understand them, but even in a lead-lined environment, they can move freely. Their method of propulsion is now fully understood, but they can move at near light speed. In the coming months, this will be announced, and it will be presented as breakthrough of modern technology. We tried warning the military about their ability to travel between distances very fast. But of course, they wanted to see it for themselves and get their hands dirty. To those who have lost their children or their spouses, I am sorry they died in vain. We know they are self-aware because when presented with mirrors, the polys react as humans do. They will observe themselves, and on a couple of occasions we've seen them planning games with each other and their reflections. They are capable of amusing themselves. They are highly curious and intelligent, but they act with malevolence and aggression towards any other living things. We don't know if they are alive. As of now, there is no state. They have not been reported in. We are tracking a large group that is making its way towards the African continent. They are traveling underwater. As this seems to be their preferred environment, they are taking their time. Already we estimate that they have decimated the wildlife in their path. This will adversely affect commercial fishing in the near future. If you enjoy tuna, stock up on it now. Very soon it will not be available. The groups consist of approximately 10,000 individual polys. They are multiplying. We estimate that no less than 100 individuals are added to the group each day. The largest is half the size of California. Most of my team is gone. The polys are fast and there seems to be no pattern to their attacks. We had one floating around the lab for months. It acted a lot like a spider. It stayed up near the corners and reacted to outside stimuli, but seemed to not have any real interest in us. I'm ashamed to admit it, but we adopted it. We called it Percy and we lived with it in that lab, and after a while forgot it was even there. Then one day it came down and suffocated Marcy. It didn't kill her right away, but it could have. It engulfed her head. There was nothing we could do. She suffocated, and when she was dead, Percy crushed and consumed her. That's why we work in the EMP field now. It doesn't stop them, but it makes it harder, and so far, it's the only thing we've had any measure of success with. We didn't want Marcy's death to be meaningless, and we extracted all the useful information we could. We know that they're very similar to predators, but the wrench is, of course, that they're self-aware. We know they prefer empty space, but most likely because of the lack of dense matter or other interference makes it easy to travel. We know that they use some kind of vacuum field to crush their prey, but we don't know where the things they eat go. We suspect that they are more like shadows than actual beings. They are shadows, the glimpse of something else, something that operates on a different dimension than we do. And they do not want to be observed. The poly seem to be governed by the laws of quantum physics. Observing a poly changes its behavior and causes it to act unpredictably. For this reason, you must avoid conditions in which they are likely to appear. The slightest awareness of a poly will cause it to behave irrationally, possibly violently. For your own safety, please avoid the things I have described. And above all, please avoid looking at the sky. Those of you with telescopes, please discontinue their use. If you are able, remain inside at all times, in a room with at least 1/3 of the space occupied. Closets are preferable. If you must leave your home, do not look at the sky. Please do not look at the sky. It will see you. I think that was a follow-up story of the other one that we were reading where they started developing in the water. I'm pretty sure it is. I'll have to check it out. Anyways, sweet nightmares.